The Joe Rogan Experience.
You got people from all sides probably on whatever that list looks like. Whoever was involved, you got people from all sides of the spectrum here going on. Now all of a sudden they smell, blood in the water and a particular, political motivation here. So let's get these files out. God damn it, just release this shit. Otherwise, this is going to be around like Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy. And
who's Joe Rogan interviewing here? Mike Baker, who I think is like former, in air quotes, CIA. This is the thing that I don't understand. When people talk about like, when conspiracy theorists talk to like former CIA agents, I just don't understand, like, about a guy who was most likely a CIA asset. Like, what is he going to talk to him about? Like, why is it the CIA guy that you're asking? It's just, I don't know. It's like weird to me that a lot of the people who are interested in conspiracy theories will just go, oh no, this former CIA guy is definitely reputable. If you haven't gone to jail, and even if you have gone to jail as a whistleblower, I still don't fully trust you as a CIA agent. Oh, look, the guy that doesn't have an opinion. This is not the guest you want on to talk about this. Oh, thank God. Okay, even his fans are not eating this. He's supposed to be having Alex Jones on, not a Fed, except Alex Jones is also directly connected to Trump and has been doing defense for Trump. Okay, Rogan, sure, let's bring up the CIA for the truth.
How could there's just a lack of coordination?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
that makes sense.
I think it's a messaging problem is always kind of a key element of the Trump administration, whether it's this one or not. And now, look, that's not I'm not knocking a lot of the policies. I like a lot of the policies that come out of this administration. This one and the previous, the first administration. But I'm just saying, a hallmark of a Trump administration is the ability to have a self-inflicted wound. Shoot yourself in the foot because of messaging, usually, right?
Right.
So I think they've done it again.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Oh, man. I wonder why. Perhaps there is some way to solve this conspiracy. I wonder what the reason could be, guys. I just don't know. I mean, there's only two reasons. One, because obviously Donald Trump is also tasked as the president of the United States of America in defending the same corporate criminals and incredibly wealthy financial elite as every other president is tasked with. That's his primary function, that's his primary purpose. That's number one. And number two, he himself is directly involved. What the do you mean? Like, what could it be, I wonder? A big mystery. What's next? You mean to tell me that you took him seriously as a CIA guy when he said he is going to fight the deep state and drain the swamp? Like, you're not a baby. He's not a baby. Joe Rogan is a little bit like a baby, but he's not a baby. He knows what he's saying.
And I don't see how they walk this back. They're trying to, I think, with this interview with Ghislaine Maxwell to say, look, we're trying. We're talking to her.
Mossad, whoever it is that was involved in this intelligence gathering. I mean, I'm just guessing. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there's pinhole cameras all over that house.
Yeah. You have to start from that perception, right? Because again, if anything else, and you're just being naive if you think, no, there's nothing. Again,
you got to take it down to the bare beams.
Yeah.
What do you think that was all about? Who do you think was involved in that? Do you think it was the Mossad? Do you think it was some rogue intelligence agency in America? Was it a coordinated effort?
You know what? I know this. There's a lot of talk about. Did he have some sort of intel connection? Right.
Right.
That from my perspective, it's complete speculation. But I will say, like from an operational perspective, I have no.
Dude, you were in the CIA. We're all trying to figure out like what kind of intelligence associations could this guy possibly have? I don't know.
No idea. Was it Mossad? Was it anybody? Who knows?
Right.
But from an operational perspective, if you see a guy like this who's super connected and all the way back to 2008 was like his first trial, right? So he's had a long history of these problems. But if you know that he's kind of engaged in a variety of things, as an example, if I'm Chinese intel, right, and I just read the goddamn entertainment news, and there's these rumors and allegations of high-level people flying off to his island, I'm going to think that's interesting because potentially,
dude, why didn't I think of that? Oh, dude, foreign intelligence doesn't mean Israel, and certainly not the CIA. It's actually China. Wow, now we know why Mike Baker is on the Joe Rogan Experience. Huh. Yeah, he's like, Joe, you don't understand. CIA? You think Central Intelligence? No, Chinese intelligence. Intelligence, but Chinese style. Make no mistake.
When you get to like this Bill Gates level and Bill Clinton level, you can't just go pick up gals at the bar.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
a little
I mean?
tough. Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you're a super famous super freak and
bro, he's literally repeating the other conspiracy theorist guy that said this verbatim last week. I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Here's an example of someone who is a billionaire, and I'm not saying this because he's my boss technically. Jeff Bezos. What did Jeff Bezos do? Okay, he went and he found a Dominican lady. That's what he did. Age appropriate. Like, you can do that, okay? You can do that as a billionaire. This doesn't mean that he is not a truly evil individual. Of course, Jeff Bezos is a truly evil individual. Okay, but the reality is, like, there's a guy out there.
Look, again, I can't speak to the rumors about him working for one intel agency or another, but I will say, if I'm working for an intel agency and I see something like that, yeah, I might find that of interest. Right?
Oh, really? So you would, not that you did or your colleagues did, but you would. That could be an interesting guy. By the way, I will say this once again. Anytime a former intelligence member points the finger at China, sometimes they do it at Russia too, or Iran, especially China and Iran, just know that these guys are not they're not invested in uncovering America's involvement in anything. Come on.
There's a lot of issues there, right? You're blackmailing somebody for their cooperation. At some point, that's going to go south on you, right? It's not like you've recruited somebody for ideological reasons, right? Or even something as straightforward as like they need the money because their kid's sick or whatever it may be. So blackmail's like, but having said that, look, the Russians in particular love that, right? And the Chinese intel, they'll do whatever works from their perspective. The agency, again, people are going to say that's bullshit. The agency tries, the blackmail is never really ever on the table as an option because it always leads to a problem.
What? That is the biggest bullshit. Oh my God. That is crazy. Oh, dude, notoriously, we don't do any blackmail in tradecraft because it's just it's ineffective. Just don't look at that. Don't look at, nah. We just don't ever do. Nobody ever does blackmail, okay? Especially not Israel, and certainly not the CIA. It's frowned upon. Yeah, the CIA never does blackmail, Joe. They just use criminals instead. That's always funny because, like, all of the assets are literally blackmailed by the criminal justice system, technically. Like, what do you mean? What's a confidential informant? Every CI is getting a deal. It's so funny to be like, oh, dude, yeah, we blackmailed people are famously unreliable. It's like, no, they're not. They're actually the most common way that people fucking utilize both law enforcement and also certainly federal law enforcement. Most commonly utilizes fucking blackmail by dangling people's criminal convictions in front of them.
And sometimes those problems can be very, very bad.
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, the asset will turn on you, right? Next thing you know, you've got an agent working now, a double agent working for the other side, right? Because they're so fucked over by the fact that they've been blackmailed, and at some point they lose their shit and they decide to roll for the other side.
But aren't you like constantly monitoring them and looking at their phone?
There's only so much. No, not really. There's only so much.
Bro, even Joe doesn't believe it. Look at his face. This is literally the CIA going on the Joe Rogan Experience because the FBI fucked up so hard with Kash Patel. Like, this guy is a little bit better than Kash Patel, charismatic enough to sound convincing, but this is straight up no different than the Kash Patel interview. The only difference is, like, he's at least, like, persuasive enough. You know what I mean? He's like a little bit more confident and a little bit calmer and doesn't look like an untrustworthy person like Kash Patel does because he's always got his eyes fucking open like this.